Welcome to Hot Tokens, where we ask hot questions with even hotter wings. Today, I'm joined by George O, Solutions Engineer at Token Security. And George spends his days helping security teams understand one of the fastest moving shifts in cybersecurity, the rise of AI agents, machine identities, and the new risks that come with them. So, George, today we've got three wings, three progressively hotter sauces. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Let's
Taking
get
me out of the
started.
field from a day-to-day activity.
Yeah,
Doing a little bit different.
Tell me about your day-to-day. You've been at Token Security for a while now, right?
Yes, I've been here 18 months now, and my day-to-day is working with customers, talking to prospects, and then working with potential partners that want to work with us to get the product and securing solutions of identity security in the marketplace.
And with that, sort of, what's the most rewarding part of your day? What does that look like for you?
The most rewarding part is seeing the solution being consumed by by the customers, and then for them to solve the actual challenge they have. A lot of customers have different use cases, and when they find the right use case for us to go solve for them, that's very rewarding because we're building something together. We're achieving a common goal together.
Interesting. Ready for this?
Yes.
Now, I imagine
Cheers.
with that,
This one's not too bad. It's a little sweet,
it's
a little
good.
bit to it. It's actually pretty good.
I like it too. So with that, George, you must be seeing a lot of companies that are looking at bringing on your solution and building something together because this is such a fast-moving space. Are you
Correct.
taking that feedback on continuously?
It's a continuous feedback loop with our engineering team and product team in order because it's an ever shifting landscape, right? The marketplace is still very immature. So any solution and any use cases, it's a constant battle with the market and how it's continually shifting and changing on a daily basis.
What's a challenge that you see kind of finding what's a pain point for each of the customers and marrying those up into, gee, this is what would solve X, Y, Z for multiple organizations? Because I imagine it's different everywhere.
It is different everywhere because every organization is on a different journey. It doesn't matter if it's AI, it could be just non-human identities, it could be secrets, it could be any of them. And depending on where they are at in their journey, the solution to match up and then to tailor the solution for them, it takes a little bit of time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, every company right now is racing to deploy AI agents. From what you're seeing, are organizations moving faster than they're securing them, or are they really building it in tandem?
I would say in general, it is moving faster than what they're putting the guardrails on. But they have realized to a certain point that they have gotten to a point where there's so much deployment, so much consumption of AI that they really need to go and focus on building the guardrails before it gets out of hand.
Okay.
And they're leaning into a lot of previous experiences that they had, such as the growth of the cloud. They've had, especially folks that went through the actual transition from going to on-prem to cloud, and then people consuming cloud so much faster. Identity is the same way. And with AI agents and non-human identities, this is the same kind of sprawl and challenges. It's the same similar concepts, but just a different landscape.
And that landscape, you feel like, what are folks sort of assuming about this risk, and what are they missing in that assumption because of that kind of leaning back on, oh, let's do this the way we always have?
Yeah, so I think there's going to be two sides to the coin on that. There's going to be organizations that's like, hey, you know what? I need to go ahead and put the guardrails in place now. And then there's another one that says, hey, you know what? I care about adoption and consumption first to be more productive, faster, and beat out my competition for using AI. And that's what I care most about first. So there's kind of two camps there. Ones are more conservative, ones are more aggressive, and then their approach to risk is going to be viewed differently.
Interesting. I like that, though. Because it means that, we've got folks that are doing it both ways, and that gives you the opportunity to really build something that's going to scale quickly and be practical and not hinder that use while approaching the solution a little bit
Absolutely. So that's where when we come up with our solution and design and architect the solution for the customer, it really starts from where they are in their journey, right? It can be very simple as, hey, I just want to know where all the consumption is coming from. So you talk about visibility and discovery. But then when it's focused on, hey, you know what, I have too much consumption, I know, and I need to go fix it, or an incident has occurred, then they're talking to us about, hey, can you remediate directly in their platform? And how can you remediate? And how can you keep that under control and under wraps and put guardrails around it? That's where it is, right? And then ultimately it's to get to preventative control. So depending on their journey with AI and how much risk they're willing to accept in their organization, then that determines kind of the use cases that they care most about with our product.
Yeah, for sure. And how quickly they're building.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. All right, you ready for this?
I don't know. That first one was sweet, but there's definitely a kick afterwards. This is number 6 out of 10.
A Scotch bonnet in it
Okay.
as well. All right, cheers.
That's what's tasty too. No?
It's like almost a curry kind of sauce.
It does have a little bit of curry, where the first one might be sweet, but a little bit more sour.
Like it's not bad, but there's like that curry.
It is.
I like curry, but it's not what I was expecting.
Yes, I was not expecting that.
What is it called?
Tropical Amarillo.
I don't get tropical.
Okay. Maybe it's supposed to have some fruity flavor to it, maybe a little bit.
Interesting.
Just a tad.
Okay. Now that we're moving on, you're in it, you're building, you're seeing that, you're talking to folks every day, your day-to-day is like all AI or bust. What is something, without naming names, what is something you've seen lately from a prospective customer, somebody you're chatting with that makes you stop and sort of think, oh, they don't know what they've got going on here?
That actually happens quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without naming any prospects or anybody, just within conversation, there's always a lot of folks that says, I got it covered. I know. You don't know better than I do. Until we start saying, hey, you know what? Why don't we do a free assessment, right?
Okay.
And when we start doing a free assessment, that's when they go, wow, there are that many agents in my environment that you even know about, especially from a shadow AI perspective. And that's where it's very eye-opening for them to say, hey, you know what? Token can really help me with the discovery of all my agents across my estate so that I can go inventory them first before I do anything. That's I would say is the most common, that they say, I got it covered. There's not that many agents. I know who's using it, and then that's what happens.
Okay. Is that realization sort of like an aha for them, or is it like a uh-oh for them? What does that feel like?
I think it's more of a uh-oh for them. I think it's more of an uh-oh for them, and then they'll be like, hey, you know what? Maybe I don't want to know about this anymore. Maybe we should stop the actual assessment. I think that's where the interesting parts come from on my day-to-day from those customers.
And there are a lot of orgs, a lot of different types of tools, a lot of new tools that can and are discovering a lot of these risks or vulnerabilities or potential setup errors within an organization's use of AI. And that's one thing, but how are we thinking about, okay, you see it, now what? How are we fixing that? How are you fixing that? What does that look like for us?
For us, it's really focused on being able to correlate identity consumption and usage. So it's really around traceability, right? Traceability of how identities are consuming each other. It could be AI agents consuming service principals or other non-human identities, and being able to track and understand the actual runtime analysis so that when we want to remediate, we're 100% confident that remediation is going to reduce your blast radius while not increasing the opportunity or chances of downtime.
Okay, and that sounds really pretty.
Do you know that it says the last dab, and that's a line and not a dab?
I feel like the other two were pretty tame. I'm like wanting to push the boundary a little bit. Consider me a high risk AI user. I'm scaling fast with my hot sauce consumption.
I will match you on that amount of.
We're on the train ride, right? We're going. Yes, we're moving.
Absolutely. So, AI risk now to hot sauce risk. Spicy risk.
Ready?
That is not
Oh my
very enjoyable, to say the least. You're turning very red.
It's so hot.
You're turning red. You're redder than the first bottle that we had. I am scared for you now.
Isn't that burning your mouth?
It is burning my mouth, but
It's
for the
gotta be
camera,
burning your mouth.
I'm gonna hold it.
I'm not sure why someone would want to eat that.
Just for
Just
the
for
challenge.
this, literally.
Yes.
Wow.
Now I know how
Okay.
all those celebrities feel
Yeah.
when they got to the last dab.
So what you said about remediation, George, I hear you. Makes sense. We're building the systems. It sounds really pretty. What does that look like in practicality? What does that look like when we're actually going and sitting down to engineer this in a way that fixes a problem for us, with us, for a user?
Yeah, it's actually quite simple in the sense that because we have the most integrations, and the integrations are pretty simplistic, we just had ask a few questions, connect without agents, so it's an agentless platform, and we integrate with their ecosystem to identify all the consumption so that we can go take remediation action. So when we take remediation action, we give the organizations and customers a lot of flexibility. They can do it directly through their own platforms, like ours, or they can leverage a pluggable architecture where we can trigger that externally from their tooling of choice. This is now getting a lot worse as I continue to speak.
It's really traveling.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. In our last couple minutes here, I'm going to rapid fire the way that we're chugging water. What do you feel like is the most overused cybersecurity buzzword? I'm tired of hearing about it. You don't want it anymore. Enough.
Visibility.
Visibility. We
Right.
can all
That
see.
is everyone knows that you need to have visibility, but
Okay.
without being able to take action, then there's no value in that visibility.
Super fair. And what's one security control every company thinks they've got it locked down, and they have not, definitively?
On who has access to their AI agents.
Okay.
Right. I think they believe that they have it locked down, meaning that everyone can only utilize, let's say, a specific tool. But every time we go look at it and we do an assessment, there are way more tools being consumed.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. And let's see, what's one prediction that might sound controversial today, but in 5 months, 6 months, a year from now, it'll be commonplace?
I think it is going to be the remediation aspect and then moving into preventative controls. Like preventative controls, because once you take enough remediation actions in place and people start understanding the risks, then they know what guardrails to put in place, and then you can move towards preventative control.
Okay. And last one now, just because I'm curious, it's not written down. When do you think governance will catch up, if at all?
I think governance is probably here now for the conversations.
Okay.
But I think the actual real governance, until I would say that there's enforcement of the governance, right? Just because we are governing it in just like our organization, governing control of how AI is being consumed in our organization.
Sure.
Until there's actual enforcement and laws that come into play, then that's really where the difference is going to be.
Okay. You think just because we're responsible adults building responsibly, we're doing the right things,
Yeah.
It's going to be there when we're ready to check
It's going to
the
be there,
boxes
and
with the
then
paper.
regulators are going to start putting more and more in place on what is responsibilities for AI, right? Just like there's ISO 42001, it's not really enforced or people aren't following as much for compliance, but ultimately there has to be some sort of standard for everyone to go follow.
Okay.
But it's a little too early for that.
All right, George. Any final thoughts before I go dunk my head in some ice water?
I think that the last dab was a lot worse than I was expecting.
Yeah, well,
that's for sure. And that being a lot worse, it feels like how our customers and prospects feel that, hey, you know what? How many agents I have, how many non-human identities I have in the environment, it's actually a lot worse in reality.
I hear that. Thank you. Thanks for watching Hot Tokens. This was a blast, and we'll catch you next time.